Buongiorno and good morning. Damn, the light is really bright. Nice and 7:09 a.m. Good to go. So yeah, I'm gonna make this one. Nice and easy. You know what I did earlier in like a previous video or so? Like I did freaking what's it called? I like read some papers that I wrote from like my college years and whatnot that you can still use, and I prefer personally to always use those no matter what. Of course, they're got passing grades. They're very good, and I use them now that I'm graduated and stuff, and my education never stops. You know, I'm even like looking into doing, studying even more, continuing education. You know, just because you graduate, you get you get your degree, whether it be associate's, bachelor's, or master's, or certification. It doesn't end there. So, whatever you do in life, you can keep doing that. So yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm doing. And I ran across a couple old papers I have, not too old, but back when I went to not Salisbury or Towson. This was when I went to AACC, which I graduated from as well with my personal training certification and associates in transfer studies in like 2019. So yeah, I'm just gonna like read, and like I might as well, because a lot of people, you never know who it may help. And another thing I want to say, you know me, how I'm always like I'm wholly empathy, and I look out for my neighbors, whatnot, classmates, or whoever you are, co-workers, people like that. So when people like this, or like people wherever, on whatever platform, or like physically or personally, or like electronically nowadays, if they choose to share something with you, like whether it be their papers, or like their dreams, or like people who they look up to, or just stories and stuff like involving them, shut up and listen, or and like ask questions. Like one thing you don't ever want to do is like don't like start judging and crap, and don't start like being a squawker, or like one of those the nuts from the peanut gallery that no one likes, because they are the losers who end up with nothing in life. They don't, no wives, no kids, no etc., no husbands, whatever. They're the ones who, like, so someone like me or whoever choose, or a lot of wives I know, friends and good stuff, they choose to do stuff like this for the good of the public and good of the social media and good of the world and the universe. Like, give back. You know what I'm saying? Like, be nice, be cool, at least. The least you can do, coexist, at least, like, literally. And if not, then you're gonna lose that person forever, as a friend, as a mentor, as whatever they were to you. A lover, a companion, So you don't want to lose that. So this is just advice. That's just advice for people, because I know how it is nowadays. But I'm a 1994. I'm a millennial. One second. I get my coffee up in here. I usually do like a little bit of coffee, maybe a Dr. Pepper before I work out. I'm choosing to do a little bit today. I went back to this platform because I actually do like it, and I might as well utilize it, because I don't want to use my phone for everything. Because I already use that for really important stuff, family, etc. So since I have a laptop as well, I'm going to use the laptop. Plus, I do like this whole thing. I use it for everything else nowadays. Whether it be appointments or family stuff, work stuff, love stuff, whatever it may be, music, art, Bible studies. So yeah, so keep that in mind with what I said. Be cool, So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so once again, I'm gonna pop it off. I'm gonna not make this too long, but it's just gonna be, it's like 3 papers. One of them is a PowerPoint. I'm a huge diehard runner, as you know. You've probably seen my previous videos. That's like my main workout, if you will. Not sports wise, it's football, lacrosse, and track goes into running. I like pretty much all sports, swimming, whatnot, dancing, whatever, break dancing, rapping, you know what I'm saying. So, but when it comes to running, that's like that's like life almost, more so. I mean, I'm not more than God and my wife and my kids, and you know what I'm saying. But music, and that adds up with Mother Nature and my workout, my running. It's it's my thing. I love it. I've run like I don't run like cross country, but one of them is about like a guy who did that. Like his name's like, I'll get too into that, but he ran like across the country or something, and I did a PowerPoint on it back in my old kinesiology class or health coaching class, and you know, the classes I took before I got that certification, which I aced, all A's by the way. Like I freaking aced those up, and that was while like we were getting ready to have a child and everything, and I was in the Marine Corps, so that means a lot to me. Like I earned all that. But anyways, and also one on which is a big topic nowadays, ADHD in athletes, college students, people like me, 27 years old, ADHD in that, which is going to be really cool and entertaining and awesome, because I'm gonna add to that as well as I do it, as I'm reading it off, and my thoughts on it now, of course. So it's like my thoughts back then, back when I was like, you know, a senior in college, when I was like 23, 22, something like that, early 20s, mid 20s, well, early 20s, pretty much, and now I'm 27. About to turn 28, April 9th. Shout out for Roto. So yeah. Yeah, like a week before my anniversary. Our anniversary. So, and also one, so I got the cross-country PowerPoint. It's called ADHD in Athletes. And then I want to hit on another one, because they all relate. There's one from my kinesiology class, which is, no, that was the ADHD class. This one is, this one was in my kinesiology class as well, with an awesome doctor I had. I also had his wife for back at St. James Francis. It's like a third grade teacher, so that's pretty cool how that worked out. They do like Dr. Reed, Mr. and Mrs. Reed, they're awesome. AACC, I don't know if they're still there, shout out. You know, I had Professor Tara DeLeon for personal training, shout out, awesome. Professor Cecil for ACC, Camarato at Salisbury, from philosophy, Italian lady, she's awesome. Right now I'm just naming the ones that I remember off the top of my head. Who was my health coach one? I can't think of her. I think it was like Miss Wilson or something. I don't know, dang it. I wish I could remember all of them. I love all of them. Hopefully they all remember me. So anyways. And I was always in veteran affairs too, of course, too. Like when I did that, clubs, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, USMC Veteran Affairs, just to like, you know, show up every now and then between classes, go in there and have some coffee. So if you're a veteran, there you go. I'm a veteran. I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. Go in there and hang out with fellow veterans or just people, just civilians, maybe people who look up to you. You know, that's cool for me. You know, especially being a father. You know, and my wife, you're a hero to them. I'm a hero to them, literally. Like my wife says, like I married my hero. Like some people look up to their heroes. I married mine. I'm in love with mine. I love that. So go in there and have some coffee or eat and hang out and do that thing. They have that at every college, every campus. They better. Like, come on now. They should. You know. So that one is called Training for a Marathon. Straight up. So I'm going to just read off a couple of these. Hopefully you can hear me and stuff right now. It's like, you know, it's early in the morning, 7 a.m. ever since, before I get into all this. So, you know, I went to pre-K, went to Sally Elementary, then I went to kindergarten, I went to St. James Francis all the way up to 8th grade. Now, that's a Catholic school, it's my parish, I still went to it now, we do everything there, church-wise. So, I went there from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, graduated of course, and then went to Spalding in 9th grade, and you know, I graduated from Northeast in 2012. Then I went over to AACC, joined the United States Marine Corps, served honorably in the reserves as well, so I went to college at Salisbury as well. I did a semester in Towson, and I graduated, you know, in 2019 with my associate's degree and my personal training certification, also being a father. But so, ever since I was little, long story short, I've been waking up early. I'm just an early bird. I like going to bed pretty early, not too early, but you know, I don't really have a set time, but whenever my body's like, alright, time to go to bed, hit the hay. I wake up pretty early. Like right now it's 7 a.m. I wake up, you know, back in the USMC we wake up like 4 or 5 a.m. Now I wake up at like, you know, 6 or 7 a.m. Get my coffee, eat, then I do my thing. I do this little class or whatever I do, video, if I feel like it. You know, being an entrepreneur, trainer, and father, and being a God, you pretty much just, I'm led by God, and if I feel led to do a video, I'll do it. And that's how I work. That's part of the whole job title, the career, or whatever you want to call it, lifestyle. And then from 7 a.m. I'm up to all the way, pretty much all day, and that's been like that ever since I was little. Long story short, like I like getting up early. I'm used to having 7 classes, 8 classes a day, lunch, recess, all that good stuff, and then afterwards I would have, you know, sports, which I still do, rec, activity, family time, of course, God time, all that good stuff. So I'm used to all this. I don't even need coffee pretty much. I just drink it because I like the taste in the mornings. You know, it reminds me of being in the field and whatnot. When we have that black coffee, you know, for USMC training, you know, wakes you up. I was a food services, so you know, we know how to make everybody feel comfortable and good and all that good stuff. Everybody loves me and my boys. You know, the 3381 food services. I'm the Italian dude that was always, what's up? You know, smiles, good times. We love y'all. You love us. You know. Yeah. Yeah, man. We make the food, we eat the food, we clean up the food. We work hard too. But I don't want to get into that though. That's more so into the service and all that good stuff. Thank you for your service if you serve and all that good stuff. If you haven't, it's all good too. Whatever. Okay. I have to do it on my phone now again. This is when I was working on my new resume. I had to touch up my resume. You know, stay consistent on that. If anything changes or whatnot. I also checked out my transcript. Check it out. Oh, you can't see it, but that's pretty good. Like I ended up with a 2.8 GPA. That's pretty damn good for college. You know, in high school, whatever, honor athlete and all that good stuff, but college, yeah, pretty good, darn GPA for someone serving in the Marines and everything else going on, working and whatnot. Proud of that. You know, you gotta toot your own horn sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sure. Okay. This is just Train Hard. It's called Train Hard. This is back in my Health 114 class with Professor Sizzle. I'm gonna get on. I like to get on all that too. Tell you some details. Just more legitness for you. So to start training for a marathon, this is for anybody you relate to. I'll make sure I add that on there. So this is a big one for runners. You must be prepared. Very important, mentally, physically, and even spiritually. A marathon is a 26.2 mile race that one must train to do for months or even years prior to the actual event. There are also many factors that a runner must overcome to complete the marathon successfully and without injury, including the weather factors, of course, footwear, very important, hydration, very important, health factors, and nutrition. I use this resource, which is called Marathon: How to Train for Your First One. Now, in this article by Get Cohen, he explains the win efficient way and how to train for a marathon race. So I added some, you know, you study other people's great works and whatnot, and this is my thoughts on it. Before running a marathon, the runner should run at least 5Ks, 10Ks, or even half a marathon before the big race. The individual should also run 5 to 6 days a week with a rest day during the week to rest and recover your muscles. If you get really good at it, you can do it every day. You start doing it every day. Like me, I pretty much run every day. I work out, you see me. One day out of the week, the runner should also run a longer distance than the other days to improve and get the longer distance. Finally, the runner must drink water every day. Duh, very important. And eat carbs too. Long story short, eat healthy meals such as healthy meals, of course, salads, sandwiches, dairy products, granola bars, fruits, veggies. Because of course, this whole health exercise field, it's more than just all that. It adds to nutrition too, which is the health coaching aspect. It's very important. You know, this field isn't just, you know, it ain't just a bunch of gym teachers and whatnot. It's actually the opposite. It's very serious. You know, they say Jesus was the greatest kinesiologist in the world. You know, it goes back to the Greek days. You know, Greek gods and et cetera, if you believe in that kind of stuff. did stuff like this. So it ain't no geeky, no offense, mathematician, calculation, and all that stuff, or like, you know, history teacher, or, you know, it ain't stuff like that, bro. Art and theater, actors, and that. No, this is real shit. Excuse my French. So, I'm just saying, don't just think you can do it because it's easy, because it's the opposite. It's not easy at all. Alright? It's a very important field. It's health and exercise. It's keeping people alive, healthy. Like, you better be serious about it. And, so, and I definitely, and for the actual events, yeah. So, that was pretty much the aspect of training for a marathon. I said it all right there. I would recommend any individual to train a marathon to view and read this article that I just said. That's straight to it. Like, you know how I was fast and all that? Like, that's how it's gotta be. You don't want to study too much up on it. You know, go do it. Get up and go do it. Alright, so y'all only spend a couple minutes on that one. This one is going to be ADHD and athletes with my Dr. Reed. Hell yeah. I had him and his wife back in the day at St. James Francis, and now also for college, where she would substitute sometimes. So that was good, like, good peoples. You know what I'm saying? Alright, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD for short, is a common disorder in young adults. Well, yeah, and to mid-adults. And that can actually continue into their adolescence and adulthood lives. It's one of the most common things in people. If you have not been told as a child that you might have it, you most likely know someone who has been diagnosed with it. In sports and exercise. There's also another variation of it, which is ADD. So it's supposed to be like, you know, inattention, hard to pay attention. You're very hyper, which is like a superhero thing, if you tell me. Maybe, I wouldn't say impulsive. I would just be like, you're quick, you're fast, you know, you're gifted by God. This is me touching up on this, whatever, about 4 years ago. Now, in sports, throughout the history of sports, athletes with ADHD have become quite successful, with or without use of the medication or whatever. I don't want to get into the medication and stuff because I'm not a licensed doctor, but I just want to say that in there. Or, you know, people like Michael Phelps, Ray Lewis, you know what I'm saying? The best athletes. Sasha Banks, I think, has it. There you go, Sasha Banks. I have it. Just saying. King David probably had it, you know? So, it's a blessing, pretty much. This is what I wrote. Throughout the history of sports, so in ADHD, and that, it's a blessing. So, the title of it was, is it a blessing or a curse? It's a blessing, alright. Well, it's up to the individual who's diagnosed with it to do, you know, whatever they want with it. Of course, you should talk to your doctor about it and share it, whatever. If it's, some people view it as a problem, but it's not. It's like the opposite. It's awesome. It does a fantastic job explaining how they think it might be a weakness. That's just people who are hating. Like, you never mess with people like that, you know what I'm saying? Or people with any other type of stuff like that. So yeah, it's for example, one of the most decorated Olympian people in history of sports, Michael Phelps from Baltimore. You know, I'm from Pasadena, Maryland, right near Baltimore. I was born in Baltimore. Diehard Ravens fan. You know, we love, me and my friends and girls, we always tear up, you know, if we be up in Baltimore, you'll see us, you know who we are, so, you know, hit up the Baltimore Harbor Aquarium, the zoo, Dick's the restaurant with the bags on the head and shit. You know, I love it. I love it's beautiful. The Ray Lewis statue, the Johnny Unitas statue, it's Charm City, you know. Birthplace is Baltimore. It's a good song Baltimore. With a 4, it's a rap song. It's like Baltimore with a 4, then L-T-I-M-O-R-E. So Michael Phelps was just another young boy who had trouble paying attention in class and would fidget around more than other children. Big whoop. Later, he was prescribed medicine or whatever. It's very courageous of him to talk about that. He's an awesome guy. A lot of people want it. I don't know why. You know, who cares? Michael Phelps himself knew he did not have a chemically unbalanced problem, sounds like me, with himself that he could not fix, so He went on to either refuse it or take it, whatever he wanted to do, as he grew older in his adulthood. Just pretty much go with what your body would want to do, like what I would do. See, athletes are the best at doing that, which is why I'm in this field and graduated from it, certified. But ways to control it is harness it into sporting and exercise. Sounds familiar? This guy. He uses his passion, which is his swimming, to medicate, if you will. I like how they use that. His disorder, and went on to become a world record holder with 28 medals, including 23 gold medals, my football number. Michael Phelps, and I'm about to turn 28 next month. There you go, numbers for you. Michael Phelps is not only a famous athlete with ADHD to overcome the odds. Other athletes consist of Michael Jordan, 23, MJ, Serena Williams, love her, tennis, Terry Bradshaw, the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers suck. Ravens all day, son. You already know. No one likes Pittsburgh. Babe Ruth, the legend, Great Bambino. Magic Johnson, DDP. There you go, Diamond Dallas Page, another one. Does something like this. Health and exercise. And Pete Rose, the baseball player. Pete Rose. That's fun. I found this article efficient, accurate, and well-written, straightforward, and motivating. I completely agree with Dr. Wedge, mostly because I personally was diagnosed with ADHD when I was younger and in adulthood, and have a similar way of coping with it. That's not a good word for it. Coping. You know, it's not bad words. These are official doctrine words, educated words. Vocabulary. Much like Phelps, I had trouble staying focused, liked to move around, had a little more energy than my fellow classmates. And then I would pretty much cope with it like that. I remember teaching myself to mentally concentrate and focus, pursue in schooling. Obviously, I excelled in that. I went on to use my energy to partake in sports years around. Excelled in that throughout, rec to high school to college to USMC to what I'm doing now. Like I said before, so to overcome hyperactivity, I said in this paper, but now I would say to utilize it. Superhero name would be Loca. There you go, 144. After graduating, I discovered my passion and odd love for long distance running. Odd love. It is always love. It was odd. People was like, why do you love running so much? Why? Doesn't it hurt? It's part of the whole beauty of it. No, it doesn't. I love it. I would learn to use my running to control my ideas, harness it, goals, and thinking process, and whatever it may be. And one of these, and long distance runs, like I said before, is when I decided to enlist in the Marine Corps when I was 18 years old. Turned 19 in boot camp. Ironically, throughout the USMC active duty training, I excelled in the exercise events, which is called PT, and would go on to achieve the fastest times, like I said before, runs and whatnot. In conclusion, the article was quite specific that children and athletes do not need medication if they don't want it to excel in sports. But of course, I shouldn't say. I'm just saying this is what I wrote. Now I would say you should look into it if you want to. To excel in sports, school life, as a matter of fact, it's quite the but every athlete truly has potential to overcome and utilize their hyperactivity disorder by controlling it through their passion! Exclamation point. Michael Phelps' passion and medication for his ADHD was swimming. Mine, one of them, I would say, is running. So, long story short, find your passion! Exclamation point. Cool. I like doing these, man. Every now and then. Here we go. PowerPoints. I wish I could show you, but I'm a printer out of paper, and we're saving trees. We're a hippy dippy, awesome family. We love Mother Nature. I'm married to Mother Gaia, so I'm Cherokee myself. So don't be messing with my nature, mother trees, and whatnot. Shawty. Sorry. Nicki Minaj. For it. Yo, this is called, quote unquote, everyone's favorite movie, right? 94. Forrest Gump, The Run Across America is what I call it. But it's a true story, which makes it that much more badass because, Forrest Gump's just a movie, but this guy actually did it, alright? So, by Samuel J. Dumsha. Samuel Israel David Dumsha. 11/11/2016. Before the whole twin flame, that shit was all crazy. November 11th. Veterans Day, Marine Corps' birthday, one of those days. I always get it mixed up. Sometimes it happens. Health coaching, 231. Okay, his name was Perry Newburn. Okay, Perry Newburn, Newburn, like my song, the Burn remix, Ignite, straight up, which goes all SoundCloud, and it's called The Runner. This slide. He was born in Christchurch, go figure, New Zealand. Newburn came to Whanganui, New Zealand in his early 1990s after he met his wife. I'd like to get into the backstory. Kath. He stayed in Whanganui for 20 years where he raised their son Sean before moving to Fielding, New Zealand. He was outstanding distance running background, which includes the Auckland to Christchurch run, a circumnavigation of New Zealand, and a 72-hour run without sleep. Holy crap. See what I'm talking about? 72-hour run without sleep. He ran a New Zealand record 487 at that time. He beat a 16-year heroin and alcohol addiction. And he now works as a drug and alcohol counselor. Why did he do this, you ask? He took up running just over a decade ago with the goal of running a marathon before he turned 50. He celebrated his 60th birthday in September while on the run. 60 years old. Rest in peace to Razor Ramon, he was 63. He just passed away 3 heart attacks. And you got someone like this who used to do, heroin and alcohol and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he overcame it, like big time. And now he's healthy as crap, 60 years old, he's running marathons. Yeah. Like I said, this field ain't for the weak and meek, boy. Yeah, it's freaking awesome, doesn't it? Yeah. So next time you feel bad about yourself or whatever, addiction and all that, look into stuff like this, man. Like, you are totally looking at it the wrong way. Like, you know what I'm saying? The most awesome, great, badass people in history are normal human beings. Do stuff like this. So the cross country run has always sat in the back of his mind. He joined the online American running community called Moon Joggers, which is a running group who decided to try to clock enough miles to run to the moon. So badass. Ain't that badass? He then started talking to the group's founder, Angie Webb. He mentored his idea and the pair worked on their plans for Perry to run across the USA together. Training for a grand run. He'd proven himself in New Zealand with multi-day runs, sounds familiar, and slowly the funds started to come up for his run. Perry said the training was the easy bit. He was clocking over 200 kilometers a week and has run more than 20,000 kilometers in 2 years. His colleague Angie Webb was dealing with his logistics. She would be the Newburn the whole journey, following him in a van. Angie organized it, and Perry would sleep and rest in the van when needed. Thank God. Body needs sleep and eat. Angie would also take videos and pictures of the runner. Yeah, so the run across the USA at the end of August 2014, he went from New Zealand to New York. He walked on water. Just kidding. He obviously took a plane or a boat. And on September 1st, he took his first drive from the steps of the New York City Hall. That's where my family came in back in the 1920s, and so from Sicily, Italia. Shout out to Maria Cortina, New York. Mother Mary, the Queen Anne's. Over the next 7 weeks, he would pass through 13 states, running 90 kilometers a day, up to 15 hours a day. It takes the body a while to adjust what is being put through. That's what he said. The unforgiving terrain of Pennsylvania was next. Ran there personally myself. I ran in different countries and whatnot, and it is very tough for the body to get used to it and whatnot, especially the breathing, the altitudes and whatnot. But once you master it, it's pretty dope, and your body becomes stronger and stronger. Personally, that's what I've done as well so far. But yeah, Pennsylvania's got some unforgiving terrain. I have family down up there, and I lived there myself for a little bit. Yeah, so he was not even a third of the way into the run, and his body was telling him it needed time to recover. He felt trashed for his quads, felt that before, so badly he was unable to stretch his leg back. The days were relentless. There was no time for recovery. He finished each day about 7 p.m. There was a time for a shower and a meal, but that's it. 4 to 5 hours sleep a night was the norm. Each of the 52 days on the road was hard. There were times where Perry didn't want to get out of the van and Angie Webb was accompanying him. You kick yourself out the door quick. You know the longer you sit there and think, the harder it gets. Remember that. Sending Webb ahead in the van, that's for anything pretty much in life. Sending Webb ahead in the van a few miles was a technique which offered him no choice but to run ahead. Finishing the race. This is dope. Rattlesnakes, tarantulas, and dogs all presented a danger that needed to be looked out for. So, besides all that, you gotta worry about your boy Mother Nature, or your girl Mother Nature, and the animals and whatnot that, you know? For me, I would be like, dope! There were a couple, TARZAN, TANEISHA. There were a couple of times where we almost stepped on rattlers on the road. I didn't like them at all. People had to laugh because I talked about my fear of snakes, Angie Webb. 1022. Newborn weaved his way through Los LA inner city with a convoy of supporters in tow. He sent the group ahead so he could get his mind geared towards finishing. True that. The training, the pain, the memories of people he'd met, and the support and thoughts of the family in New Zealand overwhelmed him during his last stretch, 200 meters. That's so cool. His story spread as a run progress. His Facebook page gained 28,000 followers. Newborn can recount many stories of people who traveled hours to run a few miles with him. He isn't finished yet with running, but says it's a few months in time for recovery, family, and reflection. I like that. Of course, reflection on a dream achieved. Records and legacy. His time is the top 5 for the U.S. coast-to-coast run. He beat Marshall Ulrich's previous record by a day. The overall record is 46 days, 8 hours. This is to run across America. And 36 minutes set in 1980. So he beat that. Wow. Just to put in the same sentence as the Marshall of the world is achievement itself. I mean, he's one of the greatest. He's pretty much done everything. Marshall Ulrich is his name. The original guy, 1980. Marshall as an M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L. Ulrich as an U-L-R-I-C-H apostrophe S. Or no S, sorry. Okay, anyway. And you gain in experience, you gain in confidence, you gain in every area possible. I think it makes you a better person. I love that. You see the goodness in people. It's really nice to see that good side, and I think that's one of the main things I take from it. There's a hell of a lot of good in the world. Quotes from Perry. It's a mind-body thing, I think. I like how he says that, I think. Because your mind's saying you ran 55 miles or whatever, you don't need to do that today. The first 4 or 5 days, the body was screaming at me. Another quote. I was starting to drag a bit. I get out of the car, and the heat from the ground was just bouncing up at me. I bet. My life for that period of time was just totally built around running. Now I find myself sitting around twiddling my thumbs thinking, what do I do now? It's not easy. I think I've gone through a slight flat period. I've always said most people have the capability to do what I do. It's about wanting to do it, being able to train to do it, and balance your life around it. I like that. It's really beautiful. One foot in front of the other is a phrase he repeated over and over again throughout the run. And there's pictures of him. Yeah. Just look, I told you all his names and all that. You can Google it. And that is it. I'll charge my phone and go work out and run myself. Yeah, so there you go. I want to just put these 3 up just to show I got a lot more where that came from. I mostly like to freestyle it and ad-lib it, but of course I like to use papers I've used myself and other great minds and good people and whatnot. It's called networking in a good way, yeah. So I don't really, y'all can take with that with what you will. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I hope all y'all are doing great. Happy, spring pretty much or whatever. 2022. Hope everyone's being happy and awesome. I never know what to do. And I'm gonna do my thing, Sending good vibes and prayers and love and all that good stuff forever and ever. Always. I'm not showing it. I got the pictures and whatnot. Right, honey? I gotta go check on my wife. I think she just passed out from my handsomeness. I should let me know if you need my attention, trust me. Babe, what's up? Yo, Oh yeah, a funny thing, this is a random thing. So when I clicked on that PowerPoint to take pictures of it off my phone, screenshot, so I can read it off on this, utilize that. A random link was like on there that I couldn't delete from YouTube, and it was the ending scene from 13 going on 30, and that's one of our favorite movies. And gotta throw some romance in there. I love my wives, I love my kids, I love my familia, everybody. Be cool. Until next time, send me the out. I don't know why I just did that.